I'm extremely far away from being a billionaire, and I know that you feel like you're extremely far from your goals, but just know that through consistency, discipline, and constantly taking action, you'll reach that point. And what I've learned is, over the time that I've been trying to build and progress throughout my journey, is that the only thing that will keep you going, the only thing that will motivate you to keep on going is yourself. You have to do it for yourself. You can't do it for other people. The moment you try and do things for other people and you try to achieve certain goals to please other people or to satisfy other people, it's going to be 10 times harder to get to that goal. As soon as you realize that, look, I need to do this for myself, I need to make that first million for me. I'm not saying to just make the million and not help other people. I'm saying, think in your head, look, I need to make this first million for me. Life can get extremely overwhelming at times, and there's times where mentally you don't want to do it anymore and you want to stop and you feel like you're tired of doing the same thing on repeat. That's how I felt, and that's how I've felt for a long time. But that consistency is what's going to keep you going. You need to stay consistent. Consistency. When you feel like you're going insane, that's when you know you're doing something right, and that's when you know that you're doing something that hasn't been done before, or your goal is worth it. So things shouldn't be easy. If it was easy in life, everyone would do it. My dad used to always say that to me. If it was easy in life, if it was easy in life, everyone would do it. If making that first million was easy, the whole world would do it. If starting a business was easy, everyone would do it. If having a clothing brand was easy, everyone would do it. Whatever your goal is, dependent on the severity and how difficult it is, but most likely it's not going to be easy, and you're going to get overwhelmed, stressed out, tired, mentally tired. Being mentally tired is a different type of thing. Those of you who've experienced being mentally tired through persistently doing the same thing again and again just to get somewhere will understand this one. But for those who haven't, you people who are just starting their journey, eventually mentally you'll feel like your mind is about to blow up. Your mind is constantly thinking about things, you're doing the same thing over and over again, but that's all part of the process. That's all part of succeeding and getting to your goal. Without that mental suffering, you won't be able to get to that point which you achieve to get to, because that's what it takes. It takes sacrifice. Sometimes sacrifice of people, sometimes sacrifice of temporary happiness. You know what, most likely 99% of the time you're not going to be completely happy getting to your goal. When you get to your goal, you'll be happy. When you're trying to get to your goal, trying to make that foundation, trying to do something that hasn't been done before, you're going to be mentally struggling, you're not going to be happy, but that's literally part of it. I can't express how much it is part of it. I've only recently, in the past a year or so, just started my journey, and what I've learned already through constantly going at it, consistent, no days off, sleepless nights, early mornings, is that it's not a happy process. If it was a happy process, then every single person would do it, but it's not a happy process at all. It's a painful process. Your progression is built in pain and suffering. I think that's the best word that I can use, is suffering is where you're built. Let's take, for example, people that go to the gym. When you're suffering, when you're on that last rep and it hurts, you feel like your bicep's gonna rip out of your arm, that's when you're making the progression. You don't make the progression the first 2-3 reps when it's easy, your arms just flying. You make the progression when the struggle comes in. When you're starting a business, you don't make the progression when you first start the business, everyone hears you have a business, you're gassed, everyone rates you, oh yeah, you got a business. The progression comes in when the suffering comes, when you make that drop, or you try to sell a product, or you try to do something and nothing happens. You put your all into something, you spend months and months, even years, putting it into something, and then it fails. And no, that's not the end of the video. I was just trying to prove a point there with the silence. Just get the point. But yeah, when you try, when you're trying to start something up, it needs to fail. That suffering is essential. Without that, you're doing something wrong. If you're not suffering, if you haven't failed, or you haven't made mistakes, and everything's going perfectly, you're doing something wrong. Because in a business, in life, no matter what you're trying to do, business, like entrepreneur, content creation, fitness industry, normal job, anything, if you're not consistently struggling, then something must be going wrong. Because for you to significantly progress, you must pass that moment of suffering. Everyone will suffer, and when that time comes, you need to just keep pushing. You can't stop just because you're sad. You can't stop just because your mind is mentally Like, that's not, you can't let your emotions get in the way. Emotions and success do not intertwine, they don't link together when you're starting. You can't let your emotions get in the way. You can't let sadness, anger, disappointment, lack of motivation get in the way of getting to that goal. When you're trying to succeed in whatever you're trying to succeed in, you need to just be fully on go. Nothing can stop you from getting there. Not suffering, not pain, nothing. Get to the goal by any means necessary and prioritize your hustle.